What do you think is the worst thing that Donald Trump has done so far? Tariffs on penguins in the McDonald Islands? His obsession with Putin and pushing Russian narratives? Or maybe just about every decision except getting rid of those annoying paper straws? Anyway, today I'm gonna ask AI to rank the 10 worst things, moves, and decisions that Trump has made so far. It'll look at everything he's done over the last 3 months and come up with its own honest list with its own take along the way. I'm going to try and keep this unbiased and straight as possible, so make sure you watch until the end to find out what ChatGPT picked as Donald Trump's absolute worst move. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and share this video with a friend who might enjoy it as well. Alright, let's get right into it. These days, it's nearly impossible to know what's actually true. Headlines are everywhere, algorithms shove the loudest takes in your face, and everything feels twisted. That's why I partnered with Ground News, today's sponsor. Ground News seriously changed how I stay informed. It doesn't just dump a bunch of headlines on you, it actually shows how different sides of the media are framing the exact same story. Take this latest news about Elon Musk stepping back from his government role. Thank goodness that's finally happening. You can see that there are 194 sources reporting on this story. One side says he's running from a sinking ship, the other side says he's doubling down on Tesla. The same event, totally different stories. But with Ground News, you don't have to pick a side blindly. It shows you all the angles, left, right, and center, side by side, and you actually get to see how each outlet spins the exact same headline. They've even got a blind spot feed. It shows you which stories the left or right aren't even covering. You'll be shocked how much is getting filtered out of your feed without you even realizing it. So here's the deal. Head to my link at groundnews.com/AI or scan the QR code on your screen to get 40% off their unlimited Vantage plan. That knocks the price down to just $5 a month. This offer is only available through this link. Again, that's groundnews.com/AI or just hit the link in the description or pinned comment. Big thanks to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and now let's jump into it. And here we go. To make sure that ChatGPT has all the info about everything Trump's done since January 20th, I'm asking it to do some deep research first. And once that's done, we'll jump right into the 10th spot on the list. Now, ChatGPT needs to confirm a few things. So the list should be based on its own thoughts, and most importantly, it has to stay as unbiased as possible the whole way through. So, ChatGPT started the research, and frankly, that could have taken a while, so let's skip ahead about 20 minutes. Alright, research complete. It took 18 minutes. Same chat, everything's all set. Now I'm asking it to be clear, straightforward, unbiased, all of that good stuff. And without further ado, let's get into the 10th worst move that Trump's made so far, and here it is. Number 10. Blaming Biden for everything, everywhere, all the time. Trump's go-to strategy this term? Just blame Biden for literally everything. Gas prices? Biden. Border crisis? Biden. War in Ukraine? Biden. Bad weather? Probably Biden too. It's lazy, and honestly, it's insulting to voters' intelligence. Leaders are supposed to solve problems, not whine about the last guy. This constant blame game isn't just annoying, it's dangerous. It distracts from real accountability. If something's broken now and you're the one in charge, you own it. But Trump acts like he's still running in 2020, not actually leading in 2025. It's always, look what Biden did, instead of, here's what I'm doing. Even when issues clearly have nothing to do with Biden, like Trump's own tariffs causing price hikes, he still spins it like it's all inherited. At some point, you have to stop campaigning and actually govern, but Trump seems allergic to responsibility. My take? This isn't strategy, it's avoidance. He's hiding behind Biden's name because he doesn't want to answer for his own messes. It shows a lack of accountability, and from someone who constantly talks about strength and leadership, it just doesn't hold up. Oh, of course, yeah. It's a shame ChatGPT didn't mention how many times Trump has said Biden's name so far. I mean, just imagine how purely evil Joe Biden must seem to people who believe everything that Trump says. But honestly, the only thing I can totally agree with is that under Biden, this channel didn't get any views. All right, let's find out what's in 9th place, and here's the answer. Number 9. Abandoning climate commitments and slashing renewable energy funding. Trump didn't waste time getting clean energy programs and pulling back from every climate initiative he could get his hands on. Solar, wind, electric vehicles, he slashed support across the board. Why? Because in his world, anything with the word green on it is either a scam or a threat to the oil lobby. The move is short-sighted and straight-up reckless. Climate change isn't some abstract debate anymore. It's wildfires, floods, hurricanes, insane weather patterns happening right now. Cutting renewable energy funding doesn't just stall progress. It puts American jobs and industries behind the rest of the world. China's not backing off solar. Europe's still going hard on clean tech. Meanwhile, Trump wants to drag the U.S. back to the fossil fuel age like it's 1952. My take, this isn't about policy, it's about spite. He's not doing what's smart or forward thinking, he's just torching anything that smells like a Biden idea. And in the process, he's screwing the next generation just to keep the oil donors happy. That's not leadership, that's sabotage. Yeah, seems like Trump shudders every time he hears the word green. Alright, let's not waste time. Here's the 8th spot. Number 8. Aggressive deportation raids with minimal oversight. Trump ramped up ICE raids like he was trying to set a speed record for deportations. Millions, he claimed. But those numbers aren't even possible. The system doesn't have the resources, the staff, or the legal capacity to pull that off. It was all about the performance. Whole neighborhoods hit overnight, families torn apart. No warning, no mercy, no clear process. And the worst part, it wasn't about going after violent criminals. It was about numbers, optics, headlines, showing his base that he's getting tough. But there's a difference between enforcing immigration law and turning it into a show of brute force. People who've lived here for decades, working, paying taxes, raising kids, were swept up without a second thought. Local officials pushed back. Legal groups sounded the alarm, but Trump didn't care. His answer, more raids, less oversight. My take? There's nothing wrong with enforcing immigration laws or protecting the border. Every country has the right to do that. But this wasn't thoughtful enforcement. This was cruelty for the sake of politics. It wasn't about safety or real reform. It was about fear, headlines, and control. If you break the system just to say you're doing something, that's not fixing it. That's turning a serious issue into a political stunt at the expense of real people. Got it. Aggressive deportation raids take the 8th spot on the list of Trump's worst decisions. Now let's move on to number 7. Number 7. Politicizing the Justice Department again. Trump didn't learn a thing from his first term. The moment he got back in office, he started turning the Department of Justice into a personal tool again. Instead of respecting the independence of the DOJ, he used it to go after political enemies and protect his loyalists, and not quietly either. He bragged about it, called out prosecutors by name, and pushed for investigations into people he doesn't like. The idea that justice should be blind? He tossed that right out the window. Judges and prosecutors who don't play ball get smeared. Allies under investigation, suddenly they're victims of a witch hunt. It's the same playbook from before, just louder and more shameless. My take? This isn't just political games, it's dangerous. The DOJ is supposed to serve the law, not the president's ego. When people see prosecutions or investigations being used like weapons, they lose trust in the whole system. And when that trust breaks down, it's not easy to rebuild. Trump's turning justice into a loyalty test, and that should scare everyone, no matter what side you're on. All right, politicizing the DOJ lands at number 7. Without further ado, let's get to number 6. Number 6. Pushing massive tariffs that backfired on U.S. consumers. Trump came out swinging with a 10% tariff on all imports and a 25% tariff on foreign cars. He sold it like a win for the American worker, said it would bring jobs back, punish bad trade deals, and lower prices. But that's not how any of this works. The tariffs hit American consumers first. Prices on everything from appliances to car parts to basic goods started creeping up, and retaliatory tariffs from other countries didn't help either. Economists warned him. Trade partners pushed back. Even some Republicans were nervous, but Trump stuck to it, doubling down on the idea that America would somehow win a trade war by making everything more expensive. And while he claimed it would boost U.S. manufacturing, companies weren't rushing back. If anything, the uncertainty made businesses more cautious. My take? This wasn't smart economics, it was performative. A blunt move meant to sound tough, but it punished the very people Trump claims to fight for: working Americans. The strategy might look good in a campaign speech, but in the real world, it just made life more expensive and strained America's global trade relationships. I actually thought that tariffs would end up closer to the top 3, but here we are. And yeah, I think we can all agree it's definitely one of the worst decisions that Trump's made. All right, here's the move at number 5. Number 5. Threatening to pull U.S. troops from Europe and undermining NATO. Trump once again treated NATO like a subscription service. He could cancel at any time. He publicly threatened to pull U.S. troops from Europe unless member countries pay up, as if mutual defense is a business deal instead of a decades-long alliance built on shared security. This isn't just posturing, it sends a message to allies and enemies alike that the U.S. might walk away when it matters most. His words gave a green light to Putin and other bad actors. When the U.S. questions its commitment to NATO, the whole alliance weakens. And make no mistake, this isn't about being tough on defense spending, it's about Trump using alliances as leverage for applause and headlines. The timing couldn't be worse either, with war still raging in Ukraine and tensions rising globally. My take? This isn't strength, it's reckless. Undermining NATO doesn't make America safer. It isolates us, it emboldens our enemies, and it makes our allies question whether they can count on us at all. Playing games with global security might fire up a rally crowd, but on the world stage, it makes the US look unstable and unreliable. And yet another ridiculous move from Donald Trump. By the way, here's the full video on this exact topic where ChatGPT even predicts what could happen if the US actually withdrew from NATO. Just be sure to check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But for now, let's find out what's at number 4. Number 4. Downplaying the threat of Project 2025 critics. Trump's inner circle is stacked with people pushing Project 2025, a sweeping plan to tear down the federal bureaucracy and replace it with loyalists. It's a full-blown power grab disguised as draining the swamp, and yet when asked about it, Trump shrugs it off, acts like he barely knows what it is. Meanwhile, his team is laying the groundwork to make it happen. The plan calls for firing thousands of career civil servants and handing their roles to hand-picked Trump allies. It also pushes for more presidential control over agencies like the DOJ, IRS, and even the military. It's not subtle, and it's not hypothetical. It's real, organized, and already moving. My take? Trump pretending he's not involved is just dishonest. This is his playbook. He just doesn't want to take the heat for it up front. He's letting others carry the flag so he can claim plausible deniability while still getting everything he wants. That's manipulative, and it's dangerous. If someone's trying to rewrite how government works from the ground up, the country deserves honesty. What we're getting is a smokescreen. I mean, yeah, when 2/3 of your actions line up with it, it's kinda ridiculous to deny any connection. And I'm just curious, if Project 2025 is only at number 4, what could possibly be next? Let me know your guess for the top 3 worst decisions in the comments right now. But before we get into the top 3, if you're enjoying the video, make sure that you hit the like button right now and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It only takes a couple of seconds, but it really helps the channel to grow. Thanks so much, and now let's find out the 3 worst moves that Trump's made during his second term. Back to the chat with number 3. Number 3. Cutting Ukraine aid and pushing for a deal favoring Russia. Trump held up U.S. aid to Ukraine right when it mattered most, at a time when Russian forces were regrouping and Kyiv needed every bit of support to hold the line. Instead of standing firm with allies, he stalled the process, called the war Europe's problem, and pushed Ukraine to cut a deal with Putin. A deal that, let's be honest, sounded more like a surrender than a solution. He floated the idea that Ukraine should give up territory, Crimea, Donbas, maybe more, to end the war. That's exactly what the Kremlin wants, and it sends a clear message. If you're invaded, don't count on the US to back you up unless it's politically convenient. My take, this isn't diplomacy, it's betrayal. Trump's actions weakened Ukraine, shook our allies' trust, and gave Putin room to breathe. He claims to be all about peace, but you don't get peace by selling out a country fighting for its survival. You get more aggression. If Trump's goal was to help Russia without lifting a finger, mission accomplished. Oh, and by the way, by the time you're watching this, some kind of peace deal may have already gone down, but let's be real, when you side with the aggressor, they're never the ones who want to stop. Let me know from the future if Trump's already backed out or pulled the US out of any peace agreements. But for now, we'll move on to number 2. Number 2. Appointing extremists to key government roles. Trump stacked his administration with loyalists, not qualified experts, not experienced professionals, but people who passed the loyalty test. That's the main qualification now. Will you do what Trump says, no matter what? Some of these folks have pushed conspiracy theories, undermined democratic norms, and openly talked about dismantling institutions they're supposed to lead. We're not talking about a few bad picks. This is a pattern, from top cabinet positions to agency heads. Trump has filled the government with people who aren't interested in serving the country. They're there to serve him. And some of them aren't even shy about it. They talk openly about going after political enemies, reshaping the justice system, and using power to punish dissent. My take? This isn't just stacking the deck, it's rigging the game. When your government is full of people whose only job is to say yes to the president, you lose checks and balances, you lose independent judgment, and eventually you lose the ability to stop real damage. Trump's appointments aren't just bad, they're a warning sign of where he wants to take the country. Alright, fair enough for second place, don't you think? Now it's time to find out the absolute worst move that Donald Trump has made since he got back in office, and here it is. Number 1. Fast-tracking an executive order to purge disloyal federal workers. This one's the biggest red flag so far. Trump signed an executive order that would let him fire tens of thousands of federal employees, people who've worked under both parties, served through multiple administrations, and kept the government running. The reason? They're not loyal enough. Not to the country, to him. It's all part of his push to bring back and expand Schedule F, a policy from his first term that would strip civil service protections from massive parts of the federal workforce. Under this system, anyone seen as not fully aligned with Trump's agenda could be fired and replaced with someone who is. We're talking about prosecutors, analysts, scientists, regulators, anyone he thinks might say no when he wants a yes. He says this is about draining the swamp. That's nonsense. The real goal is control, total control. He wants a government that doesn't question him, doesn't resist bad orders, and doesn't protect the law if it conflicts with his agenda. That's not democracy, it's something much darker. My take? This isn't just a policy mistake, it's an authoritarian move, plain and simple. It's about erasing the guardrails. If this goes through, Trump won't need to break the rules, he'll just rewrite them with people who'll never push back. That's not how America's supposed to work, it's the single most dangerous thing he's done so far. And that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments whether or not you agree with this list, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and check out the links in the description if you want to support the channel directly. After that, go ahead and click on this video, where ChatGPT breaks down Trump's third month in office and gives it a score from 0 to 10. Thanks for watching, click on that pop-up, and I'll be waiting for you there.